How to get over a crush. Hello, my name is Chengi and you, my precious one, are my world. Here I am today to teach you how to present as a high value, high worth, high status woman that men find completely irresistible. Okay, before I go into the title of today's video, let me remind you that you can contact me via MAGNIFI. All you have to do is download the app. It's in the description link below. If you send me a DM on my socials or send me an email, all I will do is send you the link to MAGNIFI. So why don't you just cut out all of the admin and just contact me on MAGNIFI, and I'll be more than happy to discuss your personal issue. And it's 15 minutes free of my time. That's incredible. Okay, so moving on. How to get over a crush. Now, this video is going to cover a few other scenarios. So number one, it's a crush, maybe somebody that you've been sort of looking at and really wanting for quite a while. Somebody maybe who is a friend and you've been crushing on him, somebody in your world. And it can also be somebody that you've just met. Maybe you just met online and you had a good rapport. Maybe you've just gone on 2 days. There's nothing really deep, but you really feel like you're in love with him and he sort of ghosted you. You kind of know that there really wasn't much in the way of a huge relationship, but somehow you feel like you've known him forever and it just seems to have gone poof. And now you're in a situation where you kind of had this escalation in this relationship or have been pining over somebody for such a long time and you really don't know how to handle it. So this video will cover all of those scenarios. Number one, I need you to realize and to really embrace this thought and this reality that you don't really fall in love with somebody in the first date or from just talking to them and looking at them. What you do is fall in lust. What you do is develop a strong sense of chemistry and a reaction to them because of that chemistry that you can easily misinterpret as love, okay, or strong feelings for that person. Now, the reality of it is you are in love with the idea of this person. You have created, you have in your head created this perfect man. He's perfect in every way. And you have superimposed the face of this man that you have a crush on onto this man. You've literally decided his face fits my ideal. Because the truth is, you really do not know him to know whether he is that guy. He could be the exact and complete opposite. So realize that you are in love. You are interested in the idea of him, which makes it great because you can begin to dismantle that idea. Because freedom starts in the mind, because what we think becomes an emotion, and what becomes an emotion and gets into our body, we begin to try to actualize it. So we can start by dismantling this idea in our heads of who you think he is. I used to crush all the time in high school because I wasn't allowed to date until I was 18. So all I could do was crush. And I remember going home and fantasizing and deciding that this guy's just so perfect because it's what I wanted to see. But I didn't always see or choose to see the things that were also in front of me because I was dealing with a fantasy. Now, even though that was high school, we still do it as grown women, right? So we need to dismantle that. Number two, create distance and no contact. If he's a friend of yours and you've been friends for a long time, just create distance. Just go and get a life that doesn't involve him. Go somewhere else. If you have to see each other at church or you have to see each other all the time, create emotional, energetic distance. A man will feel it. And if he really wants to stop, here's the thing with having a crush is the person you're crushing on knows it. This is the funny thing. You can't really hide it. You know, I've got a friend of mine who's had a crush on me for forever. And I know it. And whatever he thinks he's doing, I know it. And multiple times I've told him that is never going to happen. But the reality is I can't stop him from crushing on me. So I, don't act on it. In the same way, the person that you are crushing on knows that you're crushing on them and they still haven't made a move. They've read it in your energy, they've felt it in your energy, and they haven't made a move. So distance yourself. To deal with your truth. I was talking to a girl who said, I had a DM sent to me, and these videos will really help answer some of your questions. And she's had a crush on this guy, pining over him like crazy. She puts it down to her being shy and not being able to really come out with it. But in truth, it has nothing to do with shyness. It is just easier for her to live in her head, have a fantasy man, than actually go out, present herself to the world and meet somebody. It's easier. So yes, you've been pining over this man for a year, and it's not just her. I have a lot of these sort of messages in my inboxes. You're pining over somebody for years, some of you, who hasn't made a move, and you think it's because you're shy. Wow, it's your job to be shy. It is a man's job to approach you and for you to signal him. Okay, so nothing to do with shy. I think you might just prefer the fantasy, and maybe you need to shake it up and get used to the reality and go out, get changed, go online and actually flirt with real people instead of fantasizing. Now purchase the Manifest Your Man affirmations and begin to work on the kind of man that you want to attract. Begin to work on the healing work. The feeling of rejection that comes when you have a crush is sometimes so disabling. So make sure you get yourself the Manifest Your Man affirmations before Christmas. Link is in the description box below. Now be open to someone new. Okay, it's time to let go of that fantasy and be open to someone new. It's the last thing you're going to want to do. But if you're serious about moving on and being happy, you need to be open to somebody new. And that might mean getting online for some of you, and that might mean going out, looking pretty, smiling, and eye contact with a few guys. Now, last one, accept that if he liked you, he would have made a move. This is really important. Sometimes we make excuses for the man that is not making a move, but possibly exploiting and enjoying what is on the table. Okay, so understand that if he really liked you, if he felt the same way, he'd have made a move by now, and he hasn't made a move. So accept that he is not into you for one reason or the other. Now, if you need to be the initiator and the instigator, that's fine, but understand that by so doing, you are walking and initiating this relationship in the masculine. And however you start a relationship is how it continues. He will expect you to do the heavy lifting emotionally for the duration of the relationship, and that will begin to weigh you down. So, my advice to you is, if he hasn't made a move, knowing that you have a crush on him, whether you verbalized it or not, it's time for you to keep it moving. So I hope this video helped those of you who are serious about getting over a crush. In the meantime, take care of you, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye bye now.